This is my first time ever using an RTX GPU, and to be fair, I like them. This wouldn't have been possible without my friend David, who let me borrow his 3060 Ti Twin Edge for the day, so shout out to you, David. I really appreciated that. So before I get into this video, what type of GPU do you have in your gaming rig? Do you have a GTX card, an RTX card, or are you more on Team AMD with their RX cards? Built on the Ampere architecture, the RTX 3060 Ti launched in 2020, and it was aimed at gamers looking for a very high-end 1080p or 1440p GPU. Featuring 4,864 CUDA cores, 8GB of GDDR6 memory running through a 256-bit bus. It also has 38 ray tracing cores along with 152 tensor cores, which enables it to utilise RTX features such as real-time ray tracing and Nvidia's DLSS. And this enables the card to perform incredibly well in the latest and greatest AAA games, as we will see today. The card I've got on hand today is the Zotac Twin Edge, and it's an LHR card, which, to be honest, it doesn't matter because we're not dirty crypto miners over here. We're gamers. It's a great little card, and it has a nice little dual fan design. It does get a little bit toasty, and in my testing it got up to 75 degrees C. However, it did stay pretty quiet while doing this. It has one 8-pin PCIe power connector, and Nvidia recommend a 550 watt PSU to power this up. Benchmarking today, as always, is done on my testing system, which has a Ryzen 5 5600G, 16GB of CL16 3200 MHz memory, and a Gigabyte X570 Aorus Ultra. And all games today are tested at 1440p, as I think that is the resolution you should be playing at with this GPU. Starting off with Unigine Superposition, and as always I test at 1080p with the medium settings just to keep a baseline across all GPUs I test. And the RTX 3060 crushed it in this benchmark, getting 20,637, which is by far the highest number we've seen so far. The first game up today is Red Dead Redemption 2, and we've tested this with both DLSS and raw performance as well. Tested at the first favour quality slider with both normal and DLSS. The normal performance bagged us 64 FPS on average with 30 FPS for the 1% low. And getting into the DLSS figures now, we've got 76 FPS on average with 58 FPS for the 1% low. So as we can see here, DLSS is pretty clutch if I'm honest. It did bump up the average by about 10%. However, where it has really come into clutch is with the 1% low figure, and it felt a lot smoother, and when DLSS is on quality, you don't really notice any quality loss at all, and it's basically just free performance. However, Red Dead 2 is a really hard game to run, and the 3060 Ti did really good here. Next game up is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and it tends to play quite nicely with newer hardware. And the RTX 3060 Ti is no exception here at all. With 64 FPS on average and 48 FPS for the 1% low. This was done on the ultra high preset, and the game looks absolutely brilliant. Even though the story might be a bit lackluster if I'm honest, it does look really good. I'll give that to Ubisoft. They have made an incredible looking game here. Fortnite is up next, and it's another game that offers DLSS support. And for this I decided to put on the Epic preset, and the normal figures bagged us 88 FPS on average with 53 FPS for the 1% low. DLSS on the other hand managed to bump up the average to 107 FPS, and the 1% low did actually go down to 44 FPS. I'm not sure what caused this, to be fair, but Fortnite is a game that is quite notorious for having a bit of stuttering problems and for poor 1% low performance, so I wouldn't look into this too much, but it felt a lot better than what the figures suggest. Next up is a personal favourite of mine, and that's Forza Horizon 5. It's an incredibly good looking game, and on the Ultra preset, the RTX 3060 Ti got 89 FPS on average with 65 FPS for the 1% low. It was a really good, great stutter-free performance, and these are the settings I recommend playing at, as it looks incredibly good and the performance is good too. Next up is, well, it's Minecraft, let's be honest. However, it's the RTX version, and it's actually really hard to run. And this is because we've got 52 FPS on average, 48 FPS for the 1% low. If I'm honest, Minecraft feels more of like a RTX tech demo. It's sort of like what Nvidia was like, look at our RTX features when they released the 20 series. I don't recommend playing Minecraft with RTX on all the time. However, it still looks pretty cool. No matter the card, GTA 5 will always appear in the benchmarking suite. And to be honest, I don't quite know why, it's just always there. I always feel like including it, I guess. However, a card like the 3060 Ti should easily max out GTA 5 with really high frame rates. We tested it today at very high and ultra settings with 2x MSAA and no advanced settings. And the 3060 Ti pushed out 107 FPS on average with a 1% low of 80%. With a 1% low of 80. No performance issues here at all, and you'll be having a lot of fun playing GTA 5. Do bear in mind with GTA Online it becomes a bit more CPU bound when there's more players in the lobby, so performance may drop slightly. F122 is the newest game on test today, and it supports both DLSS and real-time ray tracing. I tested F1 at ultra high settings in my typical wet Australian Grand Prix benchmark. And with normal, we got 112 FPS on average with a 1% low of 82 FPS. Switching on ray tracing at the medium quality settings and putting DLSS on quality mode, we got 93 FPS on average and 64 for the 1% low. And the game just looks incredibly good. This is my first time first-hand witnessing real-time ray tracing, and to be honest, it looks pretty good. Last game up today is a quick little esports game which I wanted to throw in, and that's Rainbow Six Siege. The RTX 3060 Ti butchers this game on the Ultra preset if I'm honest, getting 217 FPS on average and 166 for the 1% low. This is some incredible performance, and if you've got a 144Hz display I'd say just leave it on Ultra if I'm honest. However, if you've got a 1440p 240Hz display, I would say drop it down to high and then you'll be easily getting that threshold. Just rounding up the benchmarks, I think this graphics card is a very capable graphics card, and it's the best one we've ever tested here on the channel. To be fair, this is expected due to the calibre of the card and the MSRP of it. It sells for around £400 brand new in the UK, which is quite steep. However, the performance you're getting for that is very credible. It performs quite a bit better than my 1080 Ti from what I've seen online and what I've seen from the testing data today. And this is quite surprising to me because I thought the 1080 Ti was a bit more powerful in normal rasterization performance. However, depending on the title, the 3060 Ti can be quite a bit better. So now, to be honest, I'm thinking, should I upgrade to RTX? I mean, the 1080 Ti is still a very good GPU. However, back to the 3060 Ti, I'm happy with the performance in every single game. I believe Red Dead, the 1% lows were a bit poor. I'm not sure what that was down to, but other than that, the card performed flawlessly, but yeah, that's kind of expected when you're dropping £400 on a brand new GPU. I personally think the RTX 3060 Ti is a tad overpriced still. If it dropped to around $350 brand new, $320 brand new, it'd be an absolute steal of a GPU. Pair this with a good, decent mid-range i5 or a Ryzen 5, like a 5600X or maybe a i5 12600K, you're getting really great performance from your PC. However, with the rumoured Ethereum merger which is about to happen, I believe GPU prices are bound to go down even further. So I would recommend holding off just a tad bit. Wait until around September, October time, see what the market's doing, and then this GPU would be an incredibly good value. However, if you've already got one in your system, you should be really happy with the performance if you're playing at 1440p because it's a damn good graphics card. So what are you saying then? Should I upgrade my GTX 1080 Ti? Should I finally retire the GTX 1080 Ti? Or should I just stay with it for a few more years and get something like a RTX 4080? If another GPU crash doesn't happen. However, with all this being said, I'm going to leave the video here. So if you like the video, like it and stay subscribed for more content.